What's going on YouTube? Thanks for tuning into the channel. Day 20, 48 days of the 48 laws. Uh, Link in the description below where you can pick up a copy of the book. Let's jump right into it. Law number 20, do not commit to anyone. It is the fool who always rushes to take sides. Do not commit to any side or cause but yourself. By maintaining your independence, you become the master of others, playing people against one another, making them pursue you. So he kind of separated this into two parts. Do not commit to anyone, but be courted by all. So he uses Queen Elizabeth as this one, and she was the widely known Virgin Queen. But basically, what she did, just to shorten the real story up, is that there was a lot of like different kind of alliances and things going on, and threats of war as part of the course, especially in this time period for pretty much every kingdom. But basically, she didn't have a king, so she felt a strong societal pressure to get married. Everybody wanted her to get married. And the way she kept them in a turbulent time alive was that any group that was kind of being a threat, she kind of had them set up potential suitors. She would lead a bunch of people on in very powerful positions and not claim to anybody, so that whenever the tide shifted, she could at least pull back. She also did kind of give in sometimes, because you don't want to look like, I mean, if you're kind of playing hard to get too much, then people just feel like you can't make a decision and you don't have the ability to make an attachment. Basically, this led to great success for her as a queen. She kept them pretty much safe throughout the time period, and she really learned from her sister, who was kind of in a very similar situation, but she succumbed to getting married, and she married a Catholic, and basically it led to a lot of turmoil from the Protestants within Scotland, and they rebelled. So she just basically lived in like an upheaval environment for the whole time. Queen Elizabeth learned from this, and she didn't want to choose a side as to stir up resentment in another side. So she kind of played her cards. She kept it aloof, and she died a virgin to the day she died. So then they separated to another power, which is very similar, but it says, do not commit to anyone, stay above the fray. And this one talks about actually another woman. I think her name was Isabella de Teste, and she had a small little place in Italy during a great time of obviously turmoil, as it seems like a lot of the case of these stories. So they were in turmoil, and she's in a small state, and everybody wants to take over Mantua, which is what she has. And basically what she does is, at one point, France is looking to invade. She can't make allies with anybody, because to basically choose an alliance with anybody would lead to either resentment from another side, or a possible invasion from that side in the form of helping them out. So France is coming, and they're going to take over another place that's right next to them. They try to ask for help. She can't help. Basically, they get taken over. Now she's like, France, we're definitely next on France's menu. We have no one to turn to. So what she does is she buys a bunch of gifts for, I think it's Louis, maybe the 12th. One of the Louis, one of those Louis. I think it's Louis the 12th. Yeah, it's one of the Louis. I can't see it right away, but she basically gives him gifts, nice gestures, and kind of a hint, insinuation of spending company. Basically, she makes great friends with him. He loves her. He brings her around. He loves to be seen with her, and basically now France does not invade Mantua. Now there becomes another spot where France is basically getting attacked by somebody else. Now she never makes complete alliance with France. The other people attacking her, one of the groups is her brother from another place, and it's somebody else pretty close to it. So now there's a war. Now she's caught between a rock and a hard place. Which side does she go to, France or her brother? So what she does is she plays both sides of the coin. She acts as though France has invaded her country to keep her brother and the person he's affiliated with off kilter, even though she feeds them insider advice to make it over to the point where they can attack. Then she also stays in contact with her brother, where she's obviously saying that she's being attacked. She's staging these false attacks, and she's helping them with supplies. And she's basically playing both sides of the coin. So when this all draws out and actually France wins, she still can pick France's side, but she didn't pick any side in the interim because what if that side didn't turn on top, and what would be the other things that would happen because of this? So France survives there, and then there becomes one other time where it's very, very, very similar. But I think his name was like Cesar, but basically he attacks the France and pushes them out, and uh, she's going to be next on kind of the menu. And once again, she courts this guy, keeps him very relative, and basically, long story short, through her whole reign and about 100 years after her death, or maybe it was only 10 years after her death, she kept Mantua while all these other empires rose and fall. France coming into play, Caesar coming into play, that other uh, her brother and the other place that kind of attacked. All these things happened. All these people were conquered. The guy that was originally conquered by France at the beginning, they all came and went, but she was able to maintain um, success and thrive as a kingdom during this time. And it really was with her savviness not to commit to anyone, and really play the fence and keep it to her only she only was committed to herself and her kingdom and doing what's best for them. And that really just put her in a position, because basically what this is all about is that, one, you can control your emotions, and that's really where everything starts, is your ability to control yourself and the way you react to things. But um, in the end, you can't control the way other people react. So whether it's from the day before, when it's like you got to know who you're dealing with, also when you're committing to anyone, you don't know who's going to win a war. You want it, all you know is that when everything ends, you want to be on the side of the person that wins. But even if, say, two people are at war and you pick side A, you predict side A to win, and they do win, if you jumped on their side in the beginning, they might just take over you, or kind of just forget about you, kind of like getting lost in a shuffle. But if you kind of play both sides and then wait till everything pans out, they're also now in a weakened state. You can kind of, since you didn't really get entangled in anything, now you have better bartering chips to help them out, say if somebody else comes to conquer them. But basically, when you kind of keep yourself held back from making a decision, you're in the best position of power, because one, it's like, perfect example is like uh, Super Smash Brothers. Now, in the end, when you're playing like multiple stocks, you're not playing top, you're playing stocks. Everybody has 5 lives. Everybody hates this person, but this person is always the one that can be the most successful. Now, while everybody else is fucking fighting and racking up all these points on their character, there's always that one guy, and I'll be honest, especially if I'm playing people that are better than me, I become this guy that's running around and not getting into the fights. He's letting everybody else fight. What he does is when he sees people hitting the 90s and the hundreds in life points, he runs over there and he does a super smash move and knocks people off of the map. And then he runs away, doesn't get into the fights. He lets everybody wear themselves down, and then he knocks them off. And then he's in the best position, because usually it turns out that there's a few people, if you're playing with like 5 lives, that probably have about 1 life. There's a second guy that has a lot of lives, and then there's that person that has the most lives. And what can he do? He can keep the people that are weaker alive, and they're pretty much on board, because they don't want him to knock them off, and then he can kill the people with more lives. But basically, because he didn't play any side and really knock anybody off, they have the most lives at the end of the game, and the end of the game is to survive. So when you're trying to survive, you don't need to jump on a side and pick a side and decide which one you want to be. Your whole goal is to keep yourself out of all of the fucking trouble until it's completely necessary, and then when you jump on a side, you want to pick the side that's winning, but also you don't want to commit totally there either, because in another 10 years shit can shift again. So you want to always have your cards close to your chest, and you want to be able to jump in and out. The only reversal is what I kind of alluded to before. I mean, when you keep playing all these sides and stuff, I mean, it has a great ease of appearance of looking like you're fake. Like, one, you're either incapable of making a decision and committing to somebody, which would be a flaw to begin with, which can cause a complete backlash of the same shit, or two, that you're deceiving and you're manipulative and you're conniving and that you're trying to play people. And then that obviously is a very easy way to understand that that can get a backlash from exactly what you're trying to use. So you have to be careful with it, but it's important to kind of stay back and kind of look around while other people weaken themselves. Then you can just knock them off the map like in Super Smash, and it'll keep you in a good position. But that's it for this one. A little bit longer. It was a longer chapter. It's your boy Devin Coates. Link in the description below where you can pick up the copy of the book. Like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, peace.